Yo, I'm gonna be frank with you for a minute here. I think we're gonna have to go with the Redskins video today. How you guys doing? Uh, we simulated the Bucks, Colts, Giants, and Texans. Unfortunately, it looks like our schedule is kind of cupcake league-ish with all these 3-6s. Jaguars are 3-6. Cowboys are freaking 2-7. They're not doing well. It seems like the way things are going, I'm going to be doing this Redskins game this week. And next week's probably going to be the Falcons and maybe the Panthers and the Saints to round off, depending on how things go. Because, yeah, our division is terrible other than us and the Redskins. So, to have an update on the stats, Green is having a terrible year. He is in a sophomore slump, if anything. So, that's not looking good, in my personal opinion. Yikes. 8 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. If this is going to be a sophomore slump, I'll let it slide. And I'll keep him for at least one more year if he continues to play this poorly. I mean, he is a Pro Bowl rookie after all. But if I don't see these numbers improving, I might have to start looking elsewhere. Let's look at rushing again. Jordan's still leading in yards, 560. Holy crap. And Westbrook's trying to catch up. Westbrook apparently is injured for a week. So, I don't know if that just happened or if that happened a little bit ago. Receiving, Owens, Pinkston. Jordan has some receiving yards and receptions now. Figgins doesn't seem like he's being involved very much. Oh, we lost our right tackle. That's not good. 250 so far in tackles. Kick return. Apparently Lewis has done some kick returning. It's mostly been Figgins here, though. It's officially checked the injury report, which is still Burt, who's an IR. Runyon's out for 5 weeks with a foot stress fracture. And Westbrook is out with turf toe. So that probably just happened. And Burgess with the foot fracture is now currently probable. So he could be coming back. So yeah, this is going to be a short intro for this one. Compared to previous. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I really don't. I'm not good with public speaking. Not good with speaking in general. I am a little bit retarded. I obviously joke. I mean, I am socially awkward, but that's nevertheless. And I also hate my voice, so hopefully I'm not torturing you too much. Texans, we beat 9-3. That was just entirely field goals. Holy shit. Anyway, we're going to get into this game. They're 8-1. They're currently undefeated, technically, and we're 7-2. This is basically going to be a battle for the top of the NFC East. Can the Eagles do it? I think they can, believe it or not. It's our defense, and if our offense is just serviceable like they were last time, I think we can do it. I mean, beat them last time these guys were in a video with us. So let's get to it.
A great matchup of two teams, a great atmosphere. It's time for football. Everyone has brought their raincoats for this one as the Eagles get set to take on the Skins. EA Sports is proud to present more NFL action. I'm Al Michaels, along with my partner, John Madden.
I'll tell you what, this guy could put up some big numbers through the air if that defense doesn't put some pressure on him. He's the type of quarterback who makes you pay if he gets a lot of time in the pocket. But it's not just him they got to worry about. He's got a few guys who can make plays for him.
Terrell Owens makes a great target for him every game. I think most people in the league like to think that he's deceptively fast. That allows him to sneak past the defense for big gains. Now, whether or not he'll be able to against this defense is something we'll be paying a lot of attention to.
Wow, those guys got to be careful not to get all tired out doing that. You got to save some of that intensity and energy for the game.
They're lined up for the kickoff, so let's get this game started. The Eagles are lined up for the kickoff. And he got all of that one. A great kick. From the 3-yard line to the 20. The offense is heading out onto the field for their first drive of the game. First and 10. Pressure, gets the pass off. Oh, he makes the catch anyway. Caught the pass but didn't go anywhere.
Nope, they were on him like glue.
Second and 4 coming up here.
Get up, D! Get up!
They'll go from the I formation. Drops back. Under pressure with the pass. And it's caught. Good looking play there as they pick up the first down and keep the drive alive. The expectation today is a lot of points from each team.
And that's because they have two of the most effective offenses in the league. They can score from any point in the field. They take advantage of opponents' mistakes, and they do well in the red zone.
That's the deep back. That's setting up play action on the move. The 40. Shepard records the stop at the 30-yard line. Brunel has been perfect on this drive.
Yeah, what happens? You get into a rhythm. The way this guy's throwing, he's going to stay in that rhythm until the defense knocks him out of it.
It's first and 10. Only one man back. Pass play here on first down. Throwing. He hits his receiver. 3 passes, 3 first downs.
The receivers are doing a nice job working through this soft secondary. I'd expect to see an adjustment or two by the defense.
First and 10. Eight defenders in the box on this one. Brunel with a man in motion. Tosses it out to the right. Lewis records the tackle at the 14. 2-yard gain. And this is the 6th play of this drive. Down inside the 15. Hand off to the tailback. John, one of your favorite terms right here. I'm going to use boom.
Yeah, but that's worse than a boom. That kind of hit could loosen your teeth.
Betts wasn't able to get anything going on that play.
They got there and shut that play down very quickly. That's just a case of studying game film this week paying off. When you know what they like to run in certain situations, you can anticipate the play call and stop the play before it even gets started.
Drops back with the pass. Jones breaks the play up in the backfield.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Hall lines up for the field goal to try to put them on the board for the first time in the game. And it's up. He made that one easily. The Skins are set to kick it deep. He got all of that. The offense heads out onto the field for the first time. So they have first and 10 here. Green using split back. Just hands it off. Daniels makes the tackle at the 17-yard line. Number 41 couldn't escape the pursuit and was cut down quickly.
These guys up front are very tough to block because they can use their size and strength to get excellent leverage on running plays. Sometimes they struggle a little with their consistency, but they always seem to be a big factor when the game's on the line.
With the pass, almost intercepted. He makes a great play by breaking the pass.
And that's the thing. That was a perfect opportunity to make a big play for his defense. He lets it go as an incomplete pass rather than an interception.
Up top. Lock him deep.
Green with split backs. With a deep throw to the right side. No completion there. Thought he had something deep, but couldn't get that one to the receiver. Fourth down. So 3 and out, and they'll line up to punt. Here's the punt. He's waiting for the fair catch.
34-yard punt. Fair catch made at the 48-yard line.
Ball at midfield. The Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. Gets rid of it, and it's caught. Wayne takes him down at the 44-yard line. Excellent gain on first down.
These guys are just out there playing a little pitch and catch. They make it look easy.
They have to get the ball inside the 42 to convert. They're looking for the run with all those linebackers out there. Dropping back, closing in, throws it. This one falls incomplete. So following the incompletion, it's now third down. The Eagles come out on the 46. Got to him as he throws. Incomplete. Trying to convert through the air, but the pass was off the mark. Nothing happening on that drive, and they'll punt it away. Here's the punt. And he chooses not to return this one. Deep in their own territory. Jordan, the deep back. Mitchell comes in motion. Looking for room. Brisky whacks the ball carrier at the 7. Jordan was stuck on that play, John.
They're just relentless when the offense decides to run the ball. They break down blocks very quickly. And they do a good job maintaining their gap assignments, limiting cutback opportunity.
2nd and 10. The quarterback lines up with 2 backs behind him. Gets rid of it, and it's complete. Springs with the tackle at the 17. Good read, finding the single coverage in the secondary. So they have 1st and 10 here.
Let's go!
Jordan lines up behind his fullback in the eye. Hand off to the tailback. Number 30 is the guy who's there to bring him down at the 19-yard line. Short gain on that burst through the middle, maybe half a yard.
I don't think I'd call that run a burst. That was more of a limp up the middle.
They need 7. . The quarterback gets set with only one back behind him. With the carry. Dropped behind the line for a loss of a couple. Jordan didn't have much to work with on that running play.
That's because the defense did a good job anticipating the snap count. With an aggressive defense like this, a hard count could be an effective way to keep them off balance while trying to draw them off sides.
Green sends a man in motion. Drops back. Pressure coming. Gets rid of it. And he fails to hang on to that. An incomplete pass will bring up fourth down. This will be his second punt of the game. Here's the kick. It's loose. The Eagles scoop up the live ball. The 30, the 20, the 10. And the offense's mistake will cost them 6 points. Akers comes in for the extra point. The kick is up. The point after is good. The Eagles are ready to kick this one off. Booming kick downfield. From the 2-yard line. The Skins will start the drive from the 22. So they have 1st and 10 here.
Let's go.
8 defenders in the box on this one. Passing on 1st down. With the throw, he finds his man. He caught the pass but didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, the defense is real good at putting a quick end to completion.
They need 5. Brunell with a man in motion. He's brought down behind the line for a short loss. The interior lineman got off the ball very well on that play.
Yeah, and the key to stopping that kind of run is exactly that. Whoever fires off the line faster and gets better leverage is going to win those battles at the line.
The Eagles come out in a nickel package. He's looking, gets the pass off. Incomplete pass. Good job getting there, but he couldn't bring it in for the catch.
He did a nice job of getting in position and giving the quarterback a good target. He just couldn't get it under control.
Number 85 will go back to accept this punt. Here's the punt. Fair catch.
31 yards. Fair catch made at the 44-yard line.
First and 10. The backs are lined up in an I. Owens, the man in motion. The back breaking free. Caleb makes the play at the 38. Jordan explodes for a big game.
Most of the time when you see runs like that, there's some kind of mix-up in the defense. Sometimes it's your offensive line just doing a great job of blocking. I think that play was a little bit of both.
Hand off to to the tailback. The 30. Dives and brings him down. With a gain there and a first down.
If the defense keeps giving up runs like that for first downs, they'll have to make some adjustments to slow this guy down.
It's 1st and 10. They line up in the I formation. Green with a man in motion. Jordan. Lewis with the tackle at the 15.
Who needs to pass when you have a running game like this?
They have to get it past the 14 to convert for the first down. They'll go from the I formation. Owens moves in motion. He's brought down behind the line for a short pass. George couldn't find an opening and was brought down very quickly.
Yeah, he was. This line has to do a better job of holding up at the point of attack. He has a fast first step. He can explode through the hole. But he needs a line to create that little crease or cutback lane to break free.
Gets the toss to Lewis. Hands it off. They were waiting for him as he tried to take it to the outside.
And that run started off going east and west, which isn't bad. But then it got worse, and it went south.
This will be a 38-yard field goal attempt. And it's on its way. He missed that one. It's 1st and 10. Thrash, the motion man. A pass on first down. Throwing. He hits his receiver. Ware makes the stop at the 36-yard line. And it'll be second and less than 2 following that pass for decent yardage.
I'll tell you, when you've got second and short, you can call just about anything and everything. Because if you don't get it on this play, you can always go back out there on third, and you still only need a yard or 2 for the first down.
The quarterback lines up with 2 backs behind him. Dropping back, pressure, gets rid of it. Pass goes incomplete. Ooh, what a huge hit caused the incompletion.
That's exactly right. His timing was perfect. You know, those are the types of hits that fans hoop and holler over. We want to see stuff like that in every game.
And here's what they've been able to do so far on third down.
Third down conversions is a keeper stat. When you convert on third down, you keep 3 things. You keep your drive going, you keep their defense on the field, and you keep your defense resting on the sideline.
Gets the pass off. Great throw. And he goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. They convert for the first down on that throw.
And they ran the perfect play to get those couple of yards.
So they have 1st and 10 here. Rasby, the man in motion. Dropping back to pass on first down. Throwing. He finds his man. Brown dishes out punishment at the 46-yard line. Rasby, reception and a 5-yard gain. And this is the 5th play of this drive. The Eagles come out in a nickel package with the throw. This pass is incomplete. A jarring blow on that one.
Yeah, he put his helmet in there, and he made contact with the ball.
Sixth play of this drive. The Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. Crosses it left. Stop behind the line. Loss of a couple. He was going outside. There's nowhere to go.
Running to the outside requires excellent acceleration and good speed. He's pretty good at running between the tackles, but sometimes he'll struggle on those running plays, deciding to go outside the tackle.
Walter will come in now to punt it away. Number 85. Looks like he's ready for the return. From the 18-yard line. First and 10.
Come on and get it.
Only one man back. Surveying the field with the pass, and he makes the grab. Taylor makes the tackle at the 35-yard line. Nice read, finding the receiver who is in single coverage. It's first and 10. They line up in the I formation. Throwing. Perfect pass. Lewis makes the tackle at the 47-yard line. They throw it and pick up a second consecutive first down.
Well, when you start to establish something, you want to keep it going until the defense finds a way to stop you.
First and 10. After one quarter of play, the score is 7-3. And we're ready to start the second quarter. It's first and 10. They'll go from the I formation. Flag down.
Let's start on the offense. Number 63. Still first down.
Fraley moved a little early there.
Yeah, the rule for the offensive line is once you put your hand down, you can't move until the ball snaps.
Lucy.
The Redskins come out in a nickel package.
Get him. Come on.
Passing on first down. Gets the pass off. Pass ball's incomplete. Little lob doesn't find its intended target.
Receiver on the play.
Lewis drags the ball carrier down behind the line. Tries to wriggle away, but he's stopped for a loss.
Yeah, when you run up the middle, the offensive line needs to create some type of room. Otherwise, it's going to bounce right out of there and look for other places to run. And sometimes that'll result in a loss.
The Skins come out in a dime package. Under pressure, throwing. And he can't hang. This is the guy they call on when they need a big third down conversion, and he usually comes through.
Yeah, he usually does. He just seemed to lose focus and drop that pass.
The punter heads in again for the third time today. Here's the kick. He signals for a fair catch.
38-yard line. Fair catch made at the 22-yard line.
First and 10. The Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. Closing in with the throw. This pass is incomplete. John, it looked like it was tipped at the very last moment by the safety.
That was a good read of the quarterback. That's what you need to do when you're playing center field.
The Eagles come out in the 46. Dropping back. Gets rid of it. Incomplete. That short pass incomplete brings up a third down play. Brunell back in the shotgun. Surveying the field. This pass is incomplete. He hasn't hit any receiver yet on this drive.
His throws are a little off, but the defense isn't giving him anything easy.
So they'll line up to punt after going 3 and out. Here's the punt. From the 42-yard line. He didn't have much to work with, but still got away a decent return.
Ball at about midfield.
The Skins come out in a nickel package. Dropping back to pass on first down. With the throw. Incomplete. Great effort up front to put the pressure on.
And you'll see that kind of thing out of these guys a lot. They're big and they're strong and they're fast. Opposing offensive lines sure have their hands full when they get out in this field.
Only one man in the backfield. Give it to the halfback. Griffin stops him at the 50. Now let's have a look at what our runners have done up to this point. Ball at midfield. The lineup of 6 defensive backs. Jordan. Nice play fake. Throwing left. Green couldn't find a way to bring that one in. That touch pass had very little touch, Joe.
And there are times to make throws like that. Times to zing it. He just made the wrong choice.
Very solid defensive effort to force the 3 and out. Here's the punt. And so the punt goes out of bounds. First and 10.
Okay, here we go. In and out. Come on.
The Eagles come out in a nickel package. Betts. Play action. Gets rid of it. And he hits his target. He was able to hit his target, picking up the first in the process.
That's a case of your receiver knowing where the marker is and the quarterback delivering the pass quickly.
So they have first and 10 here. They'll pass on first down. Throws it. This pass is incomplete. The defender was positioned perfectly to get to that point.
When you're playing safety, it's your job to watch the field and see where the ball is going. See where you have to be. He made the play that time, and it was a beauty.
Get in there.
46 defense in this time. Pressure coming. Doesn't get much behind it. Almost picked off. John is able to tip it away again.
On every pass, there's a window you try to throw the ball through. And right now, the defense is just shutting the windows.
They'll go with the quarter defense. Throwing. Incomplete pass. Yet another pass that's broken up.
Yeah, it's getting a little out of hand here. But it does have an effect on you as a team. It breaks up any rhythm that you've established.
Walter will come into this game to punt. Here's the kick. From the 34. It's first and 10. Jordan, the lone setback. On the carry. Stop behind the line. Jordan. couldn't pick up any blocking on that play.
The defense is always very aggressive when defending the run. They're extremely disciplined, and they get off their blocks very quickly. Makes it tough to find openings when you're running the ball.
Gets the pass off. Drops the interception. I thought that was about to be picked off, John.
The quarterback felt a little pressure on that one, and it looked like he fired the ball out there before he wanted to.
The Skins come out in the quarter defense. Throwing. Behind, but caught. Number 30 makes the tackle at the 42. Good throw, good catch to move the chains.
You know, as a receiver, all you have to do is get a step, and this guy's going to put the ball on you.
So we have 1st and 10 here.
Only one man in the backfield. Green sends a man in motion. Pushes it out to the left. Taylor stops him for negative yardage. And this has 3 tackles for him in this game. The officials are signaling that he grabbed the face mask.
Sometimes the defender will do whatever it takes to get a guy down. This time he got caught pulling him down by the mask.
5th play of this drive. Loses the defender. Big hit there. He was run over by a truck.
Yeah, 2-ton truck pulling a trailer.
And that gain will get them a fresh set of downs.
He just exploded towards the marker that time. That was a big-time run.
And this is the 6th play of this drive.
Inside enemy territory.
Green with split backs. Pinkston in motion. This one is handed off. Stopped behind the line. You know, John, he always seems to be in perfect position to make a play.
He's all about effort. His motor's always running at 100%, and he's got the experience to diagnose plays very quickly.
They'll get a first down if they can move the ball inside the 19-yard line. They line up in the I formation. In the backfield for a short loss. Got to the outside, but went nowhere.
I'll tell you, the quickest way down the field is straight ahead. Going outside, dancing around and all that stuff, that's not going to help you move the ball.
They'll get a first down if they can move the ball inside the 19-yard line. The Skins come out in a dime package. Pump faking with the throw. This one falls incomplete. Safety makes a nice play getting to the ball end, chipping it away.
And he made the play when really the receiver should have had it. Moving to meet the ball is something that some receivers don't do well.
He's made some big kicks in his career, but this one I think might be a little out of his range. The field goal attempt is good. The Eagles are lined up for the kickoff. Not a bad kick. They'll set up for the return. From the 11. Following a punt on their last drive, the offense now makes its way back out onto the field.
It's 1st and 10.
Betts is the deep back. Throwing on first down. Throwing left. And this pass is completed. Nice ball going through the air, and that'll move the chain.
First and 10.
The Eagles come out of the 46. Jones pulls him down behind the line.
He hasn't broken 0 yards rushing yet.
Second and long coming up here.
The Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. With the throw, Brown stops him at the 49. That pass was a wobbler.
Yeah, that was an ugly-looking pass, but I'll tell you, it got him the first down they needed.
It's first and 10.
Eight defenders in the box on this one. Gets rid of it. He was hit. Brunell was under intense pressure.
The play didn't work because the quarterback's timing and balance was off. When he starts to feel pressure, he gets a little nervous, and he has to get rid of the ball.
And this is the 5th play of this drive. Betts, the lone back. Pressure, throwing. And he can't hang his. Not much touch on that pass.
May have tried to put a little too much oomph on that throw.
Sixth play of this drive. 46 defense in this time. Brunell with a man in motion. Drops back with the throw. Incomplete. He dropped it.
That's the type of pass that you got to be able to hang on to.
They're unable to pick up the first down, and here comes the punting unit again for the 6th time. Here's the punt. From the 13-yard line. It's 3. The Skins scoop it up. So after the fumble, they'll go to work with good field position. The Eagles come out in a nickel package. Hand it off. Lou records the stop at the 9.
That run didn't get them much.
Yeah, there was a defender in every gap ready to make the tackle on that play.
Nine yards, they'll be in the end zone. The defense lines up in the nickel. Throwing. Picked off. It's intercepted. Looks to be all right, though he'll come out at least for a play or two. And Jill will fill us in a moment. So after the interception now, it's 1st and 10. The Eagles line up in trips bunch. Drops back. Rolling out to his left with the pass. This pass is incomplete. No catch. The receiver had it slip out of his hands. With the throw, great pass. Lewis takes him down at the 25-yard line. He never hesitated on that pass.
That was quite a throw. This guy's been blessed with a golden arm.
So they have 1st and 10 here.
Cowboy! Up the right!
The quarterback gets set with only one back behind him. Hands it off. Stop behind the line. Jordan was dragged down before he could get to the line of scrimmage.
They have great size and quickness up front. That allows them to hold up against the run while also giving them the speed to rush the passer when they drop back to pass.
Under pressure, gets the pass off. Bruschi brings him down at the 32. Green delivered that one with just the right amount of touch.
He's one of those guys who's extremely accurate with his passing. His receivers rarely have to make any adjustments in their routes to come up with a ball.
Green with a man in motion. He gets the carry. Play action. Passing right. Swings it out to the fullback. Big hit on the ball.
Now, when you talk about getting unloaded on, that's what happened here. He just got unloaded on.
First and 10.
Nickelback in this time. Going to the air on first down. Slips the tackle. Big pop that time.
You want someone there to tell you to watch out because he just got decked.
Owens didn't have much room to do anything with that one.
Yeah, they had the coverage and they made the sure play instead of trying something fancy, like going for the pick.
A little over 4 to go.
Hands it off. Misses the tackle. Noble pulls him down at the 44-yard line. Jordan couldn't get out of the backfield.
That was just a defensive line getting lower than the offensive line. When your defensive guys up front can control the line of scrimmage, it makes it very difficult to move the ball on offense.
They line up in the I formation. Hands it off to the back. They'll go with a play fake. But with the pass, refuses to go down. Number 30 records the tackle at the 43-yard line.
It's first and 10.
Only one man back. On the ground. Taylor records the stop at the 40-yard line. Pulled down after a minimum gain.
They just manhandled them at the line of scrimmage. I always say that if you win the battle in the trenches, it's going to go a long way towards your winning the game.
I'm sure they'll be going to the air as long as they have the ball. 10th play of this drive.
7 yards to go.
Green using split backs. Closing in. Throwing. Just couldn't get that pass under control. And he drops an easy one. 11th play of this drive. Drops back. Pressure coming. Throwing short to the right side. And he's ridden out at the 38-yard line. And they'll send the kicker out to try to pick up 3 points as the half is close to the end.
He's one of the best in the league, John, but it's a little surprising to see him in from this distance.
The kick is up. Not a good kick right there.
It's first and 10.
Get at him, dude.
Brunell out of the gun. Going to the air on first down. With the throw, incomplete pass. Wayne got up and knocked that pass away.
He has a knack for making a big play. And that was another one right there.
They'll need a good pickup here to make their way further downfield, or they'll have to face a third down situation. The Eagles come out in a dime package. Drops back. Looking for a receiver. The defense has it.
The 40, the 30. the 20, the 10. Where? He's in there for the score.
The defender was all over that one.
That was a great pick. He was reading the quarterback like a book.
Akers comes in to attempt the point after. And it's up. And he tacks on the extra point. And with that right there, they've now scored 17 unanswered points.
They just can't seem to stop him.
As we take a look at his success returning kicks, we get ready for the kickoff. The Eagles set to kick it deep. Good kick, should be returnable. From the 6-yard line. The Redskins will start the drive from the 21-yard line. An effective 2-minute drill will give them the opportunity to put some points on the board before the half. So they have 1st and 10 here. The Eagles come out in a nickel package. Throws it. Behind him. He has it. Brown makes the tackle at the 36-yard line. Calling an audible now. Dropping back to pass on 1st down. Pressure. Gets rid of it. The pass falls incomplete. And the cornerback is able to tip it away from the intended receiver.
He got a good sense of knowing where the ball will come down and when to make his move. The defense needs to remember not to play too soft and give up big gains underneath. But they also don't want to play too tight and end up giving up a big play to set them up in scoring position.
Rasby in motion. Throws it over the middle. Nearly intercepted. 2 tipped passes in a row.
Yeah, and that's an adjustment the quarterback has to make. If you're the defense, you don't want to get flagged for interference and let them keep this drive going. They've done a good job the last 2 plays, so let's see if they can do it again.
Out of the gun. Dropping back. Gets the pass off. And the catch is made.
I'll tell you, the safeties in this league are some of the toughest guys on the field. They can hit you with force where they just stop you dead in your tracks. And that hit was definitely a stop dead in your tracks time. They got to have good clock management if they want to get some points in this drive. And if they can get some, it'll be a big help for them going into half.
Passing on 1st down. Rosen, he hits his receiver. They'll need some good yardage here on 2nd down and then should be in the hurry-up for the rest of this drive. And this is the 6th play of this drive. They need about 3. Brunel starts out of the shotgun with the throw on the money. Lewis makes the tackle at the 30. Calling an audible now. He'll pass on 1st down. Under pressure. And he's hit as he throws. The Skins recover it. John, they're lucky to retain possession after that pass falls behind the line.
Yeah, you never want to put your receiver in a position to catch a pass behind the line when he's got a defender bearing down on him.
Gets the pass off. Great throw. He hit his man with the touch pass.
And that's the kind of play they practice over and over again, where he just floats it out there where only his receiver can get it.
Closing in. Gets rid of it. This pass is incomplete. Almost, but no catch.
He does a good job of using his speed and quickness to get open. The quarterback finds him with a pass, but you can't think about the defender or what you're going to do with it after you make the catch. You got to make the catch first, and then you think about the other stuff later.
And so the kicker ready to come out onto the field and try to put one through the uprights before halftime. The kick is up. Leonard kicks it through.
No problem for him. Whatever the situation, he'll approach it the same way. Cool and smooth.
The Redskins are ready to kick this one off. And he got all of that one. A great kick. So he downs the kick in the end zone. So they have 1st and 10 here.
Hey, watch out! Let's get him! Come on! Set. Here we come!
Penalty marker down the field. And he jumps the snap count.
The defense needs to concentrate better than that. Nothing frustrates a coach more than a penalty like that.
1st and 5 after the penalty. With the carry, Taylor holds him down behind the line. There's a half dozen tackles. Defensive line sniffed that play out beautifully.
The guys along the defensive line are very big and very active. They do a good job of shedding blockers when they're rushing the passer. And they're very good at sucking up blocks, opening holes for the linebackers to make plays when the other team decides to go with the run.
It's the end of the second quarter with the score.
Philadelphia 17.
Washington 6. As we get set for the kickoff, here's a look at the halftime stats. So we'll get ready to go here in the second half. Nice kick and returnable. From the 8-yard line to the 20. Philadelphia already leading in this one, sends their offensive unit back onto the field. First and 10. Jordan, the deep back. Cross play to the left. He was really hit hard on that ball.
Yeah, you talk about your depleter. That's what happened there. He unloaded and he got a depleter.
And they need about 9. Pressure coming. Throws it. He hits his receiver. Lewis with the stop at the 32. Smith is the recipient on that one, his 3rd reception of the game. Third and 1 coming up on this play.
Come on, baby, let's get him!
Only one man back. Jordan. Stop behind the line. Whistle to go. Jordan didn't get any help from his offensive line.
It was just about impossible to run when you have guys in the backfield just as soon as you snap the ball.
So 3 and out, and they'll line up to punt. Here's the kick. And he chooses not to return this one.
34-yard punt. Fair catch made at the 34-yard line.
It's 1st and 10. The Eagles come out on a nickel package. Dropping back to pass on 1st down. Slings it to the outside. Slings it out to the fullback. Lewis records the tackle at the 35. Quick picks up maybe a yard on that catch. And they need about 9. They'll go from the I formation. Looking for room. Nice placement. The pass ball's incomplete. Third down upcoming after the incomplete pass. The Eagles come out in a dime package. That's throws it. He finds his man. Where? Takes him down at the 47-yard line. He puts something extra on that throw, and that'll keep the chains moving.
And that's what it takes sometimes, because defenders are so quick that 1 millisecond can make a difference.
First and 10. The Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. Dropping back to pass on first down. Pressure. Throw. Wayne makes the play at the 46. Brunell continues to pass effectively and has now thrown for over 200 yards. So they need about 3 here.
Let's get him.
Betts lines up behind his fullback in the eye. They give it to the halfback. Walker got very good penetration there. So after that run, we can see how the 2 main threats on the ground have fared so far. And this is the 6th play of this drive. Ball at midfield. Betts, the lone back. Throws it. He hits his receiver. Brown takes him down at the 18-yard line. Threat rolls in the pass for a first down. He's picked up both first downs on this series. And this is the 7th play of this drive. They're inside the 20. They'll go from the I formation. Betts.
Watch this hit. He gets his helmet right under his chin, wham, and takes him straight to the turf. That's what this defense will do to you. They're so good in pursuit that if you start trying to go east and west in the backfield, you're in trouble. I'd try and run the ball right at them. That'll negate the speed that these guys have to the outside.
The quarterback is back in the shotgun. Throws it out over to the left. The pass ball is incomplete. So he looks to be okay, but he'll have to come out for at least 1 play. So they're lining up for the kick. This will be a 42-yard attempt. And it's on its way. And that kick is just inside the upright. The Redskins have narrowed the gap. Number 85 gets set to return the kickoff as we take a look at his stats. The Skins are lined up for the kickoff.
Number 85.
He got hold of that one. From the 1-yard line. Force a 3 and out on the offense's last possession. It's 1st and 10. They'll go from the I formation. Dropped in the backfield for a short loss. Jordan couldn't even get out of the backfield.
This defense is extremely active and effective up front. They do a good job of getting upfield quickly, creating havoc in the backfield. Misdirection plays and draws can be a good way to use their speed and aggressiveness against them.
He gets the carry. Play action. Gets the pass off. Number 30 is the guy who's there to bring him down at the 31-yard line. Green, over and over, throws the ball where only his receiver can get to it.
And that's what makes him so effective. He never seems to make a bad throw. Just about every pass is right on the money. If you ask me, he might be one of the most accurate passers in the league right now.
Looking for room. Daniels with the stop at the 32-yard line. Jordan can't quite get to the first down marker.
We know that it's a passing game, and you have to be able to pass in the NFL. But I'll tell you this, if you can't run and stop the run, it makes it very hard to win a championship.
So they'll line up the punt after going 3 and out. Here's the punt. This one goes out of bounds. It's 1st and 10. The Eagles come out in a nickel package. Hand it off. Blue records the tackle at the 44. So let's take a look at how this back compares to the opposition. A little over 4 to go. 46 defense in this time. Brunel with a man in motion. Looking for an option. Plenty of time. Under pressure. On the run. Smart decision. Nobody open, and he gets rid of it out of bounds. Third and 4. The Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. Hand it off to the back. The defender goes down. Blue gets right in there and brings him down. He wraps up the ball carrier, and his tackle total is now 4.
The offensive line must have forgot to wear cleats because they're just going backwards.
He's been on the sideline loosening up. And yep, here he comes for the 7th time.
Here's the kick.
From the 23-yard line. He picks up a few yards on the return. It's 1st and 10. Green using split backs. Green with a man in motion. Number 41. He was fortunate to get anything on that one.
And that's a tribute to their strength and conditioning coach. These guys spend almost as much time in the weight room as they do on the field. And you see it pay off when a guy can turn a play that looks like a sure loss into a play for a couple of yards.
Jordan, the lone back.
Pump fakes. Throws it. Great pass. And he just got level.
Yeah, you know that whole deal about what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Well, the unstoppable force won that one.
3rd and 3. Jordan, the lone setback. Mitchell comes in motion. Jordan. Washington brings him down at the 36. And now our viewers can see how successful each team's main running play has been today. Johnson comes into the game for the punt. Morton sets up to run back the punt. Here's the punt. From the 38-yard line. And the offense getting ready to come back on the field after a decent return. So they have 1st and 10 here. The backs are lined up in an I. Rasby goes in motion. Dropping back to pass on 1st down. Gets rid of it, and this pass is completed. Not quite far enough to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, and the guy calling the plays loves this kind of situation because on 2nd and short, everything in the playbook is an option.
That 1st down marker is just inside the 46. Brunell sends a man in motion. Hands it off. Stop behind the line. Loss of a couple. Pets couldn't find any room on that one.
They really hustle on the defensive side of the ball. They're very good at clogging up the line, limiting the number of holes and cutback lanes that the back has to choose from.
3rd and 4.
This team has to start converting on 3rd down if they're going to be successful.
Pump fake with the pass. This one goes to the fullback on the right side. Quick. It stopped short of the marker on that play. He's gotten a workout today. He's now coming to punt 8 times. Here's the kick. He signals for a fair catch. It's 1st and 10. The quarterback gets set with only one back behind him. Hand off to the tailback. Lewis makes the stop at the 22-yard line. Trying to move the ball on the ground.
A running attack that is consistent and effective will help the offense dictate the pace of the game.
8 to go. Only one man in the backfield. Closing in with the throw, and the catch is made. They went back to the screen.
The screen pass requires that you have some quick linemen who can move wide of the tackle and set up blocks for the guy coming out of the backfield.
And they need about 9. Jordan, the deep back. With the pass. The pass is picked off. Clearly, he would have been better served looking elsewhere on that play. Following the interception, it's now 1st and 10. Drops back. Flings it to the outside. Swings it out to his running back. Brown stops him at the 31. 2nd and short of coming after a good pickup through the air.
Right here is one of those situations where you can pretty much open up the whole playbook. You can go with a play fake and look for something deep, or you can just run the ball. Just about anything is an option.
That's the lone back. Pressure coming. Gets rid of it. Great move. Nice touch. Diving tackle to bring him down. That was a good adjustment by the receiver as he reads the man coverage and finds open space.
The thing with these option routes is everyone has to make their read quickly and make their adjustments quickly. Running option routes and running them effectively takes a lot of repetition and practice.
The Eagles come out of a nickel package. Pressure, throwing, and it's complete. Brunell doing an excellent job on this drive.
Things are really slowing down for him right now. He's seeing the coverage and finding the open man with ease. He's really in some kind of rhythm out there.
5 yards away from the end zone.
They have to start scoring touchdowns once they get inside the 20-yard line.
Dropping back with the throw. Blue gets right in there and brings him down. He makes his 5th stop of the game on that play. Betts is one of those receivers who always seems to find a way week after week to get open, and that's his 4th catch today. 7 yards to go for the touchdown.
As the offense gets closer to the goal line, the defense can tighten up and make it much tougher for the offense to get the ball into the end zone.
The quarterback did a good job avoiding the pass rush, but couldn't find anybody open.
That's the best way to do it. As a defense, you never want the quarterback to be able to settle in and feel comfortable in the pocket. Bringing guys in the blitz or playing bump and run on the outside can really disrupt the play's execution.
The Eagles come out in a nickel package. Drops back. Rolling out to his right. Gets the pass off, and he just can't hang on. The back was the target, but he couldn't bring it in for the catch.
This is one of those guys who really works hard to make himself a complete player. He's improved as a pass receiver, but he'll drop one of those easy ones every now and then.
This will be a 25-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up. Boots it through again. A total of 4 field goals in the game. The Redskins are down by just 1 touchdown now. Number 85. He's back for the kickoff as we take a quick glance at his return numbers. The Skins are set to kick it deep. Should be a return here. From the 8-yard line to the 20. The defensive unit forced an interception the last time they were on the field. An exciting game so far as we head to the 4th quarter with the score. Philadelphia 17, Washington 12. The Eagles have the ball and the lead as we begin the 4th period. 1st and 10. Jordan, the lone back. Owens, the man in motion. And they go with the delay. Washington takes him down at the 30. That run won't move them far.
The lineman just failed to open up any holes to run through or give him room to work with.
It's 2nd down and 7 to go. The backs are lined up in an I. With the throw. This one falls incomplete. After the incomplete pass, they'll face 3rd down. Green with split tosses it left. Spring gets right in there and brings him down. And he chases him down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
I'll tell you, he's one of the most knowledgeable defenders in the league. He knows how to play the game, and he always knows what's going on.
The offense can't do a thing in this one, so the punter makes another appearance. Here's the punt. Fair catch called for.
31-yard line. Fair catch made at the 40-yard line.
So they have 1st and 10 here. The quarterback lines up with 2 backs behind him. Throws it. He hits his receiver. Ooh, that one will leave a mark.
He got popped. I'll tell you one thing, he's going to feel that in the morning.
Nice pass and good catch on that play.
The pass was fired in there so hard, I think he left smoke in the ball.
1st and 10. The
Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. Look left and hits his wide receiver with a short pass. They went back to the screen.
The defense was all over that one. They need to do a better job of mixing things up.
They need to reach the 38-yard line to convert.
Only one man back. Stop behind the line. We'll pick up.
He's running the wrong way today.
And they'll face a long 3rd down here.
The defense really bears down on 3rd down.
Gets rid of it on the money. Gardner doesn't get enough to convert, and that brings up 4th down. Number 85 will try to improve upon those numbers on this punt return. This punt will be his 9th. Here's the kick. Fair catch.
29-yard punt. Fair catch made at the 19-yard line.
It's 1st and 10.
Get up, D, get up. Okay, here we go.
Jordan in the backfield. Hand it off. Lots of defenders in the area. No place to run on that one.
And the thing is, when you don't get underneath the defensive line, you're not going to have the leverage that's needed to knock them off the ball. And that time, the defense had all the leverage.
9 yards to go. The Skins come out in a nickel package. Drops back. Throwing. And he hits his target. Lewis pulls him down at the 25-yard line. Owen with a decent 6-yard gain. Third down and 4 coming up on this one. They'll go from the I formation. With the throw, this one falls incomplete. Big drop, and that brings up 4th down.
He took his eyes off the ball at the last minute. He did a good job getting open, but he didn't watch the ball into his hands.
Very solid defensive effort to force the 3 and out. Here's the punt. From the 44-yard line.
29-yard punt. Return for a gain of 4 yards.
First and 10. Dropping back. Under pressure. Goes with a short pass to the right side. And he goes out at the 47-yard line. Quick with the great reception.
Yeah, the receiver showed great ability there.
It's 2nd down and a long way to go. The Eagles come out with 8 guys in the box. And it's caught. Good, strong throw by the quarterback on that pass.
You know, they really put that thing in there. That's why you used to see a lot of drop passes by a defender, and it's usually because he just can't hang on to the thing.
They have to reach the 41 to convert. The offense has had trouble moving the sticks on 3rd down so far. Shepard is the guy who's there to bring him down at the 31. Brunell, a hot hand on this run.
And what he's doing is sitting back there in the pocket, seeing everything, making great decisions, and getting the ball to the right guy. He's playing very well right now.
1st and 10. Dropping back to pass on 1st down. With the throw, slings it out to the fullback. Brown with the tackle at the 31-yard line. The quarterback has now found him 5 times in the game. And this is the 5th play of this drive.
Eagles come out in a nickel package. Throws it. Turn. He has it. Perfect pass. Great catch. And then with the change.
Gain of 16 on the play.
And they find themselves in scoring range. Eight defenders in the box on this one. Tosses it out to the right. Lewis breaks the play up in the backfield. He laid a good hit on him there for his 5th tackle of the game.
They're not just going to give up on the run, no matter how ineffective it is.
The first down marker is just inside the 6-yard line.
Come on and get it.
Hand it off to the back. Wayne makes the tackle at the 16-yard line. Good game for the offense here in the second half.
This is one of those guys who seems to play better as the game goes on. The more he gets the ball, the better he does. So I'd expect to see him get quite a few touches here as the game winds down.
The first down marker is just inside the 6-yard line. From the gun, Rasby, the man in motion, dropping back, looking downfield, throwing, incomplete pass. He was unable to bring that one in.
I think he just took his eyes off that one.
John Hall comes out to attempt what will be a 34-yard field goal. And it's on its way. Plenty of distance on that one. Good kick. The Redskins regain the momentum with that score, John.
You can feel the momentum shifting.
The Skins are ready to kick this one off. Booming kick downfield. From the 2-yard line. The defense forced the punt the last time after 3 plays. First and 10. The backs are lined up in an I. Green sends a man in motion. It off to the back. Taylor stops him at the 24-yard line. Gain of a handful. Ball on their own 24.
Base! Base!
Hand it off. Washington is the guy who's there to bring it down at the 28. Pickup of about 5. Ball on their own 28.
Big stop this time.
The quarterback gets set with only one back behind him. With a halfback, it's loose. It's picked up. They lose it in the backfield.
When the defense gets back there so fast, it forces a runner to make a move quicker than he wants to. Sometimes that causes some real problems, especially in handling the ball.
First and 10. Last time they were in the red zone, they got a field goal out of it. If they get one this time, they can take the lead. Throwing on first down. Closing in. Gets rid of it. This pass is incomplete. And that brings up second down.
The intended receiver on the play.
Strong right.
The Eagles come out in a nickel package. Gets the pass off, and he his target. Can't draw it up any better than that. Textbook first down. And now they're 8 yards away from finishing this drive with a touchdown. The Eagles come out and got in the box. Trotter makes the stop at the 7. Couldn't find much of a hole, and he's brought down after a gain of what looks like a couple.
Yeah, you talk about push. This line got no push at all, and there was nowhere to go.
7 yards to go for the touchdown.
The coach has to be a little disappointed that his team has to settle for field goals when they move the ball into their opponent's red zone.
That's now 3 interceptions for these guys. So after the interception now, it's 1st and 10. To the 20. Number 30 pulls him down at the 23-yard line. Jordan covered some good ground there.
Hey, nice job up front, holding their blocks and allowing him to get a good run for a first down.
1st and 10. Smith, the motion man. Jordan dropped in the backfield for a short loss. Not much there. Second and long coming up here. Looking upfield, Brewski is the guy who's there to bring him down at the 22-yard line. He might have gotten a yard or two.
That guy got knocked around by that defense. He needs a little protection from his linemen.
They'll be faced with a long 3rd down play here. They come out of the nickel. We'll get the call again. Taylor makes the tackle at the 29-yard line. Well, that didn't cut it. Now they're looking at 4th down.
And they made the decision to just keep it on the ground. Take time off the clock, not force anything. This is a luxury of being ahead.
Johnson is back to punt. So as we get set for the punt, let's take a look at our returners' stats. Here's the kick. From the 37-yard line. Pushes over. After that turnover, here's how both teams are doing in that department. So they have 1st and 10 here. Betts, the deep back. Going to the air on 1st down. With the pass. Ooh, that one will leave a mark.
He got hit so hard he darn near had to take a taxi back to the stadium.
He's trying to hurry them back to the line. With the throw, he hits his receiver. Jones pulls him down at the 47-yard line. Looks like they'll go with a hurry up here. Dropping back to pass on 1st down. Throwing. This one falls incomplete, and they have to go to the air because they need big plays fast.
That's right. You got to have composure in these situations. Find your receivers who can pick up yardage after the catch. But most importantly, You have to keep the chains moving.
The Eagles come out in a dime package. Dropping back, looking for an option. Rolls right, pump faking. Gets the pass off. Great throw. Shepard makes the play at the 36-yard line. The quarterback is calling them back to the line of scrimmage. No pass on first down. Gets rid of it. Perfect pass. Brown takes him down at the 21-yard line. Ball on the 21-yard line. Sixth play of this drive. We're just about down to 1 minute.
And they're on the doorstep now, down by less than a field goal with the ball in the red zone.
Betts. He's brought down behind the line for a short loss. I'd be surprised to see anything but a basic run on this second down play.
There's no need to pass since they're in great position for the field goal. Right now, they just need to focus on using up time and centering the ball for their kicker.
Betts. He loses it. The Eagles.
When you turn over the ball a lot, it shows a lack of focus on offense. They need to tighten it up in practice this week.
This one is just about in the books. A little over a minute left, so we have a challenge.
The officials are going to review it. Whenever a questionable call happens in the last 2 minutes, the review is called from upstairs.
So what we're looking for here is whether one of his knees hit the ground before the ball came out.
And sometimes it's hard for the official because there can be a whole bunch of bodies around the ball carrier, and he can't get a good enough view to overturn it.
After the leading play, the rule of the field is overturned.
It was unclear initially why they called for a review, but now we understand the reason.
You have to give it to these officials. Their job's not easy. Sometimes they make mistakes, and most of the times they're right. I'd really be surprised if they decide to throw for the first, since their main concern right now is just setting up their kicker and try and give him the lead and maybe the win.
Lou drags the ball carrier down behind the line. They ran on third to get them in better position for this field goal attempt. And if it's good, they're ahead by 1.
Key series for both teams. The offense did what they needed to do, and now it's up to the kicker.
An important kick here. This is for the lead. And it's up. Boy, he really got into that one, easily clearing the crossbar. The Redskins find themselves up by a small margin. The Skins are lined up for the kickoff. Squib kick. From the 14-yard line, the 30. Let's see if this possession is more effective after their last possession ended in a punt. Not much time left, so they'll be throwing the ball here to get into field goal range. It's 1st and 10. The quarterback lines up with 2 options behind him. Dropping back to pass on first down. Gets rid of it, and it's caught. He was in perfect position to make that catch.
Yeah, the receiver showed great concentration looking that one right into his hand.
They'll call this play at the line of scrimmage. He'll stop the clock with a spike. They need 5. Even though it's 4th and long here,
They're going to go for it. Drops back. With the throw. Incomplete. Time is working against them.
And I'm thinking they're going to keep going to the air, but it might be a little too late.
Well, it's really not much of a decision here. They have to go for it. With the pass, incomplete pass. They go for it and don't make it.
That was a conversion the offense needed. They have to be disappointed, and it's worse because now the other team has the ball.
They'll be taking a knee here on first down.
Yeah, the defense doesn't have enough timeouts to force a punt.
Looks like they'll take a knee right here and savor the victory. Directing traffic. There's the final gun. The final score is Washington 18, Philadelphia 17. Thanks for joining us for this EA Sports matchup. For John Madden and Jill Arrington, this is Al Michaels saying so long.
That was disappointing. That was a lot of turnovers on both sides. I was excited for that fumble, but the camera angle sometimes they choose, you can't ever see with the camera angle. You can't see for sure usually. Green, not a good game at all with the no touchdowns, 1 pick. Yeah. The rookie running back is doing really well though. His numbers don't really look like it here, but he did better than the other running back. Yeah, he did better than the other running back. He's the only running back in this game with positive yards. So, you don't know his overall may be low. Lorenzo Jordan's really looking promising. 5 receptions from our top tight end and top receiver. Defensive. I mean, I looked like we were going to be winning for a while there, and just our quarterback just was not doing anything. 48% completion percentage. He was not doing much at all. So that's unfortunate. I'm starting to worry about him. Kinda. It's kind of hard to judge these numbers based on stats back then to right now. But to me, these are not looking like good numbers at all. Not good enough, at least. If he still makes a Pro Bowl somehow, then I guess, he's good enough. What's really probably hindering him is his throw power. So like I said, I'm going to give him this year and next year. If next year he doesn't start producing like a franchise quarterback, he might turn into another 11 Wentz or Hurts or whatever, and I might just consider moving him. Especially if there's a quarterback in the draft after that third year of him that I like more. We'll just have to see. When he's only 6 foot, he's 192, he's 1 year pro, he's very young, he's 22 years old. He needs time to develop, yes. But the league is very, right here, right now, sort of a thing, even back in 2004. And he only has a few years to fully develop. The years of a quarterback's development and when they actually improve is when they get into the league anywhere between 21 to 24 to roughly their late 20s, so 27, 28, and 29. Normally, you have a full idea of what that quarterback is by 27 years old. And that's at their peak. Their peak is 27 to 30. Then once they hit 31, they will either stay at that consistent path of how good they are, not improving, not regressing, or that's when they actually start to regress. Now, no, I noticed that some that quarterbacks are playing till they're older now, which is easier to do nowadays because how the league treats quarterbacks, and quarterbacks are not as beat up as they were in the early 2000s. But we'll just have to see. It's going to be a year-to-year thing with Darnay Green. If I'm really not liking what I'm seeing by the end of next year, I'm going to start heavily considering moving him. Only if there's a better option. But that's going to be it for me for this week. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.